Welcome to Cuban with a Twist. Today we're making papas rellenas. Right now it's prepping. And prepping is most of the work on this dish. Okay? I've got some water boiling over here. I've got the ground beef, which I made ahead of time. Which if you don't know how to make picadillo, take a look at one of our videos on how to make picadillo on YouTube. Now the only difference that we're going to do with these papas rellenas is I'm going to put some boniato in there. Now boniato basically is sweet potato, but it's a white sweet potato. So all we're doing is peeling it, and this is the prep work. It's not a lot of fun, but it has to be done. Hey, that rhymed. There we go. I love papa rellenas with a little bit of hot sauce. Delicious. So that's what we're doing. Prep them. You want to do about 4 potatoes. Doing 4 baked potatoes and 2 boniatos. Just take the tips off. Okay. Cut it down the middle. Plop them in. All I've done is put the water to boil and added some sea salt to it. That's the only thing in the water. I haven't put any oil or anything like that. Just put these down, take this off. Once the potatoes are boiled, that's when we're going to mash them. We're going to add the butter and all of the different ingredients, which I'll show you when we put that together. But really, this is just the prep work right now. Get it down. Chop it. Potatoes are much easier to chop than boniato, that's for sure. There we go. Pieces. Now the potatoes you're going to have to clean them a little bit because they get a little bit dirty. Rinse those out and add them to the mix. That's the prep work. We'll see you in a few minutes. We're back. The potatoes and the boniato have been boiled, so they're nice and soft. We're going to put them through a strainer because I need them to be really, really, really thin. No clumps, no lumps. So let's start off a little bit at a time. This is probably going to fall apart on me. Yep, there it goes. But we're going to do it just a little bit at a time. There we go. Right here. I'm going to smush it. Here we go. I want it to be nice and thin. And to this we're going to add butter, salt and pepper, a tiny bit of cornstarch, and 1 whole egg. And we're going to continue to mush this, and we're going to add all of those ingredients together, and we're going to let it get to room temperature. Once it's at room temperature, it'll be easier to mold. So I'm going to go ahead and do this process, and we'll be back in a few minutes. We're back. The potatoes have been mashed. You can see they're really, really, really fine. Look at that. Nice and thin. Now, in order for this to be able to be molded, you have to do a couple of things. First of all, it has to be at room temperature, and it needs to be a little bit drier. Okay? So, we're going to add a couple of things, a couple of ingredients to our mixture of potatoes. First, we're going to add about a 1/4 stick of butter. Real butter. Preferably unsalted. Okay? We're also going to put in a little sea salt. This is the one with the truffle. Put that around. I don't want to put too much seasoning in it because remember it's going to have the picadillo in the middle, and the picadillo's really got a lot of flavor to it. Put a little pepper. Now I need 2 tablespoons of starch. Okay. Okay. And 1 egg that I have already mixed. So first we're going to mix this up together. Now I've added the butter now because I obviously want it to melt just using the warmth of the potatoes. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that that melts nicely into the potatoes before I add the egg. Okay, I've mixed in all the ingredients. Now I'm going to add our egg. Now, this is a very simple dish. I mean, I know it seems complicated, but it's really actually very simple. The problem is that it has quite a few processes to get to the end result. So from this point, we mix the egg in, okay? And then you're going to say, how in the world are you going to be able to make balls out of that? It's so soft. And you're absolutely right. At this point now, I'm going to put a piece of plastic over it. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and it's going to let it cool down for at least an hour to 2 hours. And then we'll be back to make the balls. We're back. The potatoes are a little bit firmer. Now, I would like to see them a little bit firmer, but if not, we'd have to wait till tomorrow to do them. So I've already made one of the papa rellenas, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that. Okay, put a little bit of olive oil on your fingers. It keeps from the mashed potatoes sticking to them. Okay, a handful. Now you can make these as big as you want, as small as you want. You can make them little appetizers, or you can actually make them the meal. That's really up to you. Okay? Put a little hole in it, kind of make like a little opening in the middle. Alright, we're going to add the ground beef to it. A little spoonful. I want to get it so it has some of the red peppers, some of all of the flavors. So you see that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cover it up a little bit more, right over the top. Now this is a tedious dish. It's time consuming, and you know it really takes some patience. But if you get it, the end result is well worth the effort. Okay? Let's get that over here. Go and try to seal it up. Take a little more mashed potato. Now remember, this is a combination of mashed potato and boniato, which is a sweet potato. It's a white version of sweet potato. Okay, we've got our ball formed. Now we're going to come over here. This is a mixture of Italian breadcrumbs and cornmeal. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over it. Okay, try to pat it. Same thing on the other side. Still shaping it in a ball, trying to keep it all together. Now again, this would be probably a little easier had I left the mashed potatoes a few more hours, or even maybe overnight. So we're going to make 2 of these, and then we're going to try to leave the other mixture for tomorrow. Okay. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and put it right into the pan. Maybe a little bit more on this side. Pat it. Now remember, this is cooked, so you're really just trying to get the golden brown that's on the outside on the breading. Okay, right here. I'm going to bring the other one over. And this should be just a few minutes. We're back. We did some in the fryer, and those are still cooking, but we're going to put some, we're going to have a little healthier choice. We're going to put some in the oven. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we're going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to start putting them on the pan. We had a little technical difficulty. The kitty is so hungry. He thinks this is so delicious, he's meowing for them. So let's hurry up and cook them. We're putting them on a little bit of parchment paper. Same process as the other ones. Okay? Only a healthier choice. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Now I've put it in a convection oven, about 400, and it's going to be about 25 to 35 minutes depending on the strength of your oven. We'll be back. We're back. I baked them. They've lost a little bit of their shape because that's because of the baking and the way they were sitting. Thank you so much for watching the videos. This is a great dish. We like to use a little hot sauce on it. Thank you again. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and watch us on syndicatednews.net. Thank you.